We've asked the state agencies, and when I ask, that's a pretty strong message to those agencies that we have appointment authority and what have you. At a minimum, we'd like to see 5% reduction across the board, and we'll allow them to have the decision-making process about where those reductions would occur. But come back to us before the summer and say, here's where we would make the reductions, and get started on it now. Don't wait until the legislature comes in here and do the budget and what have you. Get started on those reductions now. We're doing it in the governor's office. We're going to be looking at all the other agencies. That's the start. We've got a record of making pretty substantial cuts in state government. Back in 2003, we had a $10 billion budget shortfall, and we addressed it. First time since World War II that we spent less general revenue money in a current budget than the previous budget was in 2003. And I'm proud of that, and we've done it one more time in 2009. So the point is, it can be done. Yes, it's tough, and you got to say no to a lot of special interest. But I tell people, I said, if Washington, D.C. would take the same tack that we've taken here in Texas and saying no to special interest, no to more spending, our state budget is going to grow in a state that is growing, as Texas is. We're blessed in that sense. We've created an environment in the state where people want to live here. They know they can come and keep more of what they work hard for, and there's freedom in this state from over-taxation, over-litigation, over-regulation, and we got a good skilled workforce. So companies come here. Just this last week, Allstate announced 600 brand new jobs in Texas, and they are just another major company that have moved their operations, or some of their operations, to the state of Texas because they know that this is the land of opportunity in the state of Texas. So keeping those budgets under control in government, we have done it. You read almost daily, Wall Street Journal, Forbes magazine, The Economist, that Texas is the place that people want to be. CNBC, just the first 10 days in February, had a program where all day they were talking about Texas. First out of the recession, last in. That's the type of messages across the country that good budgeting and conservative fiscal policies have played very well for the state of Texas. So continuing to put the pressure on that budgeting process is part of what a governor does. I've done it before. Matter of fact, I kind of enjoy doing it.
You know, I don't know what we'll find when I look under the hood of our state spending. There's one category of spending under Governor Perry that I find very questionable, and that's large amount of our tax revenues that are allocated to something called an enterprise fund. Now, everybody's for enterprise and everybody's for jobs, but what he's used this for is to give some businesses, often those in competition with other Texas businesses, basically a grant using tax dollars from the government. Now, I don't know any business who wouldn't like a grant from the government. But I've built businesses, I've made payroll, and I never expected the government to come in and write me a check in order to employ people. That's one program that I think ought to be cut. And we ought to look across the board. You know, we can find productivity improvements in government if we run government like a business. What I did in Houston is take a look at the employee benefits, how we could make employees more productive. I also took a look at our vendor contracts. You know, in the oil and gas service business that I've been in, when the customers aren't doing as well, then the suppliers have cut their prices or they'll lose the business. We need to do more of that in our state government so that when our economy goes down, when our taxpayers are hurting, those providing goods and services to the state also have to take a cut. I don't know how that will play between different programs of the state because I haven't looked under the hood, which you need to do. You just can't get it from a budget book. In the old Soviet system, the way they used to run the economy is somebody would give a speech, they'd go through budget books, and they would do across the board this and that. If we run this state government like a business, we look at the productivity of each function and see what we could do to maintain essential services but not pay a penny more than we have to.